This video was inspired by a couple comments I received recently. Some people have been asking me to discuss what the next Battlefield really has to do in order to be impressive. Because it's a very important point. The next Battlefield can be better than 2042, but that's not difficult, right? We can all agree on that. But how much better than Battlefield 2042 does the game have to be considered at large, to be a success by the community? What features does it have to have? What is it going to take? And I'm here to tell you that, in my personal opinion, from what I've seen so far, just because of the messaging that DICE is having, the direction the next Battlefield game appears to be going in, and all the leaks that we've seen, I think the next Battlefield may already be better than Battlefield 2042. So we'll get into the nitty-gritty of this conversation. As always, if you enjoy the channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you've been liking the daily shorts. I've been trying to pump them out. My friend has been editing them. To shout out to Careless, longtime friend, longtime sub of the YouTube channel and the Twitch stream. And if you have any suggestions for videos or shorts, put them in the comment section as well. I always love to hear you guys' ideas. So the next Battlefield game is obviously quite a ways away, even though we have abnormally seen full gameplay of it already due to Battlefield Labs. Who saw that one coming, guys, right? You give the entire community access, and they leaked the game. It was bound to happen, not really a big deal. Everyone expected it. But because of these early leaks, we've been able to gauge how the next Battlefield is, at least from a distance, better than we were able to for, I think, any Battlefield game ever so far. On top of that, we have DICE commenting on the direction for the game with these blog posts. There was one going over the gunplay and movement, which I made a full video of. And funnily enough, we have main developers working on the next Battlefield game responding to people's questions regarding the next Battlefield's leaks, even if they are vague in their responses. If we look back on Battlefield 2042, this was certainly not the case. Battlefield 2042, for the most part, didn't really see much of this before the game launched. Much of the impression was obviously during the alphas and betas and the trailers. And as we all know, Battlefield 2042 is widely considered to be the worst Battlefield game of all time. I've made many videos stating in the past that it is essentially impossible for the next Battlefield game to be worse than Battlefield 2042. And I still believe that to be true right now. It has always been a question of how much better can the next Battlefield game be? And what do they need to do in order to really win the majority of the players they lost back, or at least gain more interest? And I think for the most part, they've done that. They appear to be, from early impressions, on the right path. Is everything perfect? No, of course not. Don't misinterpret what I'm trying to say here. There's a long road ahead of us. A lot of stuff can change. But just how much better does this next Battlefield game have to be considered a return to true form? And I think the answer is simpler than some people are making out to be. I've seen arguments on this, in the comment section and various social media, where some people are just absolutely adamant that they have to return to the way things were in Battlefield 4, like get rid of live service, return to premium, there better be a server browser in the base game. Basically, they're asking for over-the-top stuff that, I'm sorry, modern games just aren't going to provide, because modern gaming sucks. Games got too popular. They want to make as much money as possible with the least amount of investment. It's just how it is. And from the early looks of things, it looks like we are going to be getting some things that we've been asking for quite a long time. Obviously, the atmosphere of the next Battlefield appears to be more of a return to form, more in line with what people want. I'm not so sure we're going to get a server browser, but I don't think what the Battlefield community has been asking for a number of years has been anything ridiculous. I think a lot of people would be satisfied with like a 7 out of 10 game on launch, and that's not asking for much whatsoever. But I do not think that we will see a full return to form like the Battlefield community wants. For instance, I don't think we're going to see a server browser in the base game of the next Battlefield game. Reason being, Portal is all but confirmed to return, so the question is, how would having 2 server browsers in the game work? Because there would be one for the base game and one for Portal. And I think the answer is they're not planning to make it work. I think we're going to be stuck with matchmaking, much like we were in Battlefield 2042, and I think that's just the future of Battlefield. Now, the question of what it would take to really make a big return is more broad than this. Like, how much content on launch would be acceptable for most people in the Battlefield community? How many maps are there? What's the battle pass look like? What do the skins look like? Because, lo and behold, people didn't like Battlefield 5's weird skins. You got maids running around in World War II. How many weapons are available on launch? What's the gunplay like? What's the movement like? All these massive questions. And then there's the smaller details. Will platoons finally make a comeback? That is a huge part of Battlefield. A lot of people want more emphasis on squad play and squad chat. Will there be proximity chat? What's the UI going to look like? How is spotting going to function? There's a constant debate about how spotting works, whether or not visibility is too good in these recent Battlefield games. Of course, not talking about BF5. We all know how terrible BF5's visibility was. Then, of course, there's the constant debate about whether or not suppression should be in the game. Should it only affect snipers? Should suppression be in the game in general? Should it affect your accuracy? Should LMGs have suppression? And there's all these little micro conversations, and all of them add up to be what Battlefield is and what people expect the next title to be. But I think all DICE really has to do is make sure that, number one, the launch of the next Battlefield game is significantly better than both BF5 and Battlefield 2042. We cannot afford to have a flop launch. It would be horrible. They also have to make sure the quality of the game is there. The quality of Battlefield games is really underhated, in my opinion. I think a lot of Battlefield players don't realize how truly horrible Battlefield 2042 was, particularly at launch, and even still now in a lot of aspects. If you look at other games, they're just leaps and bounds ahead in terms of quality, and I understand Battlefield is a massive undertaking to try to produce, but they have to be better. Then in terms of content on launch, I think a lot of people would love to see, at bare minimum, 10 to 11 maps on launch with 5, 6, 7, 8 portal maps available, with about 40 to 50 weapons on launch. And this sounds like a lot, but I really think this is what it's going to take. And for some people, this would mean that it's like a 9 or 10 out of 10 Battlefield game if we actually got all this in the modern gaming era where it seems like we're constantly getting gypped by every game that comes out. But I really feel as though that a return to the bare minimum wouldn't be that impressive necessarily. Should we really be so impressed as a community if we suddenly start getting what we used to get in the first place? I don't know. I mean, that's a debate we can have. But at the end of the day, for me personally, I would just love to see them start the next Battlefield game on release day off on the right foot. I have been a Battlefield content creator for the better part of 7 years now, if you count when I started streaming on Twitch all the way back in BF1. And I can confidently say that during my time making YouTube videos and streaming, I have never had the privilege of seeing a Battlefield game start the correct way. And I want that to happen now. Okay, so it looks as though we're on the right path. It's all about whether or not they can deliver at this point and what they deliver. So definitely let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. This video, I realize, is a conversation we've had a little bit before, but I wanted to make a dedicated video about this specific aspect of the Battlefield discussion. I like making these more casual talking style conversational videos. Let me know if you do like them as well. Definitely swing by the streams. I stream every single day at twitch.tv/enders and this very YouTube channel. Join the Discord, follow me on Instagram. And for those of you, again, asking about the Fragrance channel, I'm going to mention it at the end of the video because, you know, some people watch my Fragrance channel. If you didn't know I have one, that link is also in the description. I realize I haven't uploaded in, I think, maybe like 4 months at this point. Again, I just have been really finding it hard to be motivated to make content for that channel because by the end of the day, it's about 11 or 10 at night when I make those videos. And I think I'm going to have to completely switch my schedule around. I might have to make those videos before I go live on Twitch because they do take time, extra time out of my day that I wouldn't have to necessarily take out of my day otherwise. I do absolutely want to keep uploading on that channel. It is one of my great passions that I would love to share with you guys. And just for my brief experience making fragrance-related content, quite a few of you have been asking about it, so clearly there are some people that like it. I will try to deliver soon. I'm going to figure out some schedule stuff. There's been just a lot of stuff going on in my life behind the scenes, so that is the gist on that. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.